Class 10, The Rise of Nationalism in Europe. In the previous video, we come to know about those political changes taken place in Europe during the Revolutionary Age, and some more events took place in Europe that laid the foundation stone of the making of Germany and Italy. In this video, I highlight the following topics with reference to the rise of nationalism in Europe. Number 1, unification of Germany. Number 2, unification of Italy. Number 3, the strange case of Britain. The nationalism that had risen before the 1848 soon moved away from its association with democracy and revolution. The conservatives started using nationalist sentiments for their own purpose of promoting state power and achieving political dominance over Europe. Unification of Germany. There was a widespread nationalist feeling among the middle class Germans during 1848. They tried to build Germany as a nation state that was to be governed by the elected parliament. Although attempt was suppressed by the combined forces of monarchy and by Junkers. From then on, Prussia emerged as a powerful leader that unified Germany. Otto von Bismarck, considered as architect of this process with the help of military. He was a chief minister of Prussia. His ultimate goal was to unite the German states into strong German empire with Prussia as its core. He never favored liberalism and democracy. Instead, he used military force to unify Germany. Bismarck took the help of Prussian army and bureaucracy. Three wars were fought in the time span of 7 years with Austria, Denmark, and France. The result of these wars was the victory of Prussia and the unification of Germany. On January 18th, 1871, an assembly of princes of the German states, representatives of the army, important Prussian ministers, including Bismarck, gathered in the Hall of Mirrors in the Palace of Versailles and proclaimed Kaiser William I, the Prussian king, as the German emperor. In the end, The nation building process of Germany displayed the dominance of Prussian state power. The new state laid emphasis on the following things. Number one, modernizing the currency. Number two, banking. Number three, legal and judicial system in Germany. Prussian measures and practices later on became a model for the rest of Germany. So now we know that the unification of Germany took place because of the military expedition led by the powerful Frisian region. But how did Italy unified? Let's see this. Italy was divided into various parts. They were scattered over several dynastic states as well as the multinational Habsburg Empire. It was divided into seven states during 19th century. The northern part of Italy was under Austrian Habsburg Empire. The center part was under the Pope and the southern regions were under the Bourbon kings of Spain. Only one Sardinia Piedmont was under an Italian princely house. Not only this, the Italian language was not a common form and had many regional and local variations. As we have already read that Giuseppe Mazzini, one of the great revolutionaries of Italy, had tried to unify Italy during the 1830s. He had also formed a secret society called Young Italy for the fulfillment of his goal. But the failure of the revolutionary uprisings, both in 1831 and 1848, turned the responsibility of this process on the shoulders of King Victor Emile II to unify Italian states through wars. The ruling elites of this region favored the unification as this would offer them economic prosperity and political dominance. Just like Germany, a chief minister played an important role in the unification of Italy. Here we are talking about Chief Minister Count Camillo de Cavour, who led the movement to unify the regions of Italy. He was neither a revolutionary nor a democrat. He was a wealthy and educated elite who could speak French much better than Italian. It was due to the diplomacy skill of Cavour that allowed Sardinian Piedmont along with France to defeat the Austrian forces in 1859. Giuseppe Garibaldi 1807 to 1882. He was an Italian general and nationalist. He was perhaps the most celebrated of Italian freedom fighters. He was also a member of Mazzini's Young Italy movement, and he also participated in Republican uprisings in Piedmont in 1834. A large number of armed voluntaries joined the army of Giuseppe Garibaldi. He was an Italian general and nationalist. He led his voluntary force in 1860 into South Italy and Kingdom of the Two Sicilies, and succeeded in winning the support of the local peasants in order to remove the Spanish rulers, power-bound Spanish rulers they were. In 1861, Victor Emile II was proclaimed as the king of unified Italy. So in the given map, you can observe the Italy states before unification and Italy after unification. Though unification of nation took place in various parts of Europe, but the idea of nation or the nation states is different. As some scholars suggested, in Great Britain it is strange. The formation of Britain was not the result of sudden revolution. It seems as the unification of Britain was very strange. Let's look into the strange case of Britain. The formation of Britain was the result of a long process. Britain was not a nation state before the 18th century. It was an island that was inhabited by ethnic groups such as English, Welsh, Scot, or Irish. English started growing wealthy and gaining power and importance. They started extending their influence over the other nations of the island. The English Parliament seized power from monarchy in 1668 after a conflict. Finally, a nation state was formed with England at its center. In 1707, the Act of Union came into being between England and Scotland, resulted in the formation of the United Kingdom of Britain. Soon, England imposed its influence on Scotland. Even the British Parliament was dominated by the English members. Later on, even cultural and political institutions of Scotland were suppressed by the growing British power. For example, the Scottish were forced to not to speak in their Gaelic language or wear their national dress, and a large number of Highlanders were forcibly driven out of their homeland. Ireland also has a similar story. Ireland was divided between Catholics and Protestants. England helped Protestants of Ireland and this resulted in dominance of Protestants over Catholics. The revolts led by the Catholics were suppressed by the British dominance. Wolfe Tone and his United Irishmen revolted against English supremacy, but the revolt was suppressed in 1798. Finally, in 1801, Ireland was forcibly incorporated into the United Kingdom. A new nation came into being which was largely dominated by the English culture. The symbol of the Britain, the British flag, Union Jack, the national anthem, God Save Our Noble King, the English language were promoted and the older nations were left to survive as the subordinates. Till now, we have come to know about the rise of nationalism in the European countries, various attempts made by the revolutionaries for their right to liberty, the establishment of power by the conservatives, or the unification of countries on the basis of various wars. So these are all the topics what we covered in this chapter until now. But when the countries achieved the status of a nation state, the next thing which gained importance was as to how the country should be visualized. So let's see what was done in this context in our next video. Thank you. Keep learning sharp.